first lesson is just a quick introduction to the animation world. I will quickly explain what's the role of an animator and the different animation techniques. What does a character animator do? Be a character animator means bringing to life a fictional character. This is enough for me to make this job awesome. You take an inanimate 3D mesh and you add movements, expressions, and this character starts to have a personality, to have feelings. And yeah, this is what I mean. I always say that animation is not about move a character, but it's the capacity to bring him to life. It's pretty easy to learn how to move a rig, but what you should be able to do to become a good animator is to give life to this character. As animators, we move and let's pick these characters. In practice, we control their movement like actors, and in this way, we create the illusion of life. So, the animation is an illusion, yes, but can be so real that you became a part of the character that you animated, putting in him something of yourself, of your feelings and emotions, of your style, and these emotions and feelings will be transferred to the users. Let's start saying that to be a 3D animator, you don't have to be a good drawer. Of course, it's a plus if you are, but it's really not necessary. I have no great skill in drawings at all. I draw a lot, but I can't say that I'm a good drawer. So we must dispel this fake myth. No, you don't need to be a good drawer to become a good 3D animator. In my lesson, I will talk about 3D animation, but let's quickly talk about all the main animation techniques. Traditional animation, or classic animation, or hand draw. Computer animation that is split in 3D and 2D. Stop motion. Now let's see in details how these different techniques works. This technique was the most well-known and common use starting from the beginning of the 20th century until the advent of computer animation. It's composed by a sequence of hand drawings created on a series of pages. All the drawings are made on an animation desk or light table. A light table has a translucent surface illuminated from behind with a light collocated into the table. On this surface you put the sequence of papers. When you draw the animations, thanks to the light inside the desk, you can see in transparency the drawings of the previous and following pages. An animation is composed by a sequence of frames. Each frame is represented by a drawing. The frame rate, the number of frames per second, can change depending on the type of project. In movies, we usually have 24 frames per second. For TV series and commercial, 25 frames per second. And for video games, we usually have 30 or 60 frames. I say that the computer animation is split into categories, 3D and 2D. The 3D is the animation of objects created in a three-dimensional space. Using a 3D software like Maya or 3D Max, we animate a 3D object. We start from a mesh, the model that is created by the modeler. On this mesh, the rigger will create the skeleton, the rig, the series of points, joints, and the selectable controls that the animator will use to move the character. Selecting and moving these controls, we create the motion. For 2D animations, we still intend something generated on a computer, but the images are bidimensional. The result is more close to the traditional animation. Some software for this type of animation are Toon Boom, Anime Studio, Flash. With this technique, we physically move a real object, a puppet. Frame by frame, we pose the character and we take a sequence of pictures. For example, is the favorite technique of Tim Burton that used it for all his animated movies. The puppet usually has a structure inside, like an iron skeleton, that allow to easily pose him. That was the very first lesson, and I'll wait you for the next one, creation of a 3D project.